This is how you literally max out your swords overnight, and this is how you can get any fruit in the game for completely free. These are some of the most crazy tricks pros abuse that you don't. The very first trick I got here is going to show you how to max out your sword overnight, and there's actually two different ways to do it. The first way makes it incredibly easy, and the second way kind of works like mediumly well, but they're both really good tricks. The first way to do it is by using the Buddha fruit. Everyone knows about this Buddha glitch where you can make a sword completely huge. All you gotta do is switch off your transformation, and boom, just stand next to the spawn point of an enemy, leave an auto clicker overnight with your sword, and boom, your sword should be max level when you wake up. The second way is to just simply do it without an auto clicker, and for obvious reasons this does not work as efficiently as the Buddha version, because obviously it's gonna be a lot harder to hit the enemies. And another thing I forgot to mention is that make sure you have an elemental fruit activated while doing this so you don't actually take damage from the NPCs. And also make sure the NPCs have no hotkey, because if they do, then they're obviously going to be able to hit you, and you don't want that happening. Next up, I'm going to be telling you about every single code in Blox Fruits. A lot of you don't know about this because the codes get changed around quite a lot, and there's a butt ton of active codes in the game. The first code is Reward Fun, and this gives you double XP for 20 minutes. Then we got Kit Reset, which gives you a free stat reset. Then we got Sub to Official Newbie, which gives you double XP for 20 minutes. Then we got Xori, which also gives you double XP for 20 minutes. Then we got Big News, and you get the Big News title for using this. Then we got Bluxy, and you also get 20 minutes of double XP for this. Then we got Chandler, and for this one you literally just get 0 belly. What a useless code. Then we got NU is Pro, and this is also a double XP code. Then we got FUD10, for this one you get 1 belly, pretty useless. Then we got FUD10 V2, for this one you get 2 belly. But what are these codes? Then we got JCWK, and this one gets you double XP. And next up we got Kit Gaming, Magic Bus, Star Code Hero, Straw Hat Manny, Sub to Captain Mai, Sub to Dyrock, and Sub to Fur999, which all give you double XP for 20 minutes. Then we got Sub to Gamer Robot XP1, this gives you double XP for 30 minutes. Then we got Sub to Gamer Robot Reset 1, which gives you a free stat reset. Then we got Sub to Noob Master 123, which is a double XP code. Then we got Sub to Uncle Kizaru, which is actually the Light Admiral from One Piece, and this one gives you a free stat reset. Then we got Tantai Gaming, which gives you double XP, and we also got the Great Ace, which also gives you double XP. Damn, that is a lot of codes. Next up, I'm going to be telling you about a pretty simple server hop alternative that you can actually use to server hop better, and this is a pretty secret trick that I didn't know until recently. Everyone knows the normal way of server hopping. You literally just leave a server and join a new one, but a different way to do it is by actually blocking somebody in your Blox Fruits game, leaving Blox Fruits and joining back. This makes it so you have a 0% chance of joining back the same server, because according to the Roblox rules, you actually can't join a server with someone that you have blocked. Pretty useful trick. Next trick we got here is going to allow you to walk on water. A lot of you newer players, you might be thinking it's just the Magma V2 and the Ice Fruit that lets you walk on water, but there's a lot more, and two of the other most popular fruits that do this is the Dough Fruit and the Kitsune Fruit. For the Dough Fruit, all you have to do is unlock the roll or donut ability, and then you do have to awaken it, and that's going to make it so your donut can actually roll over water, which is pretty useful if you're using the Dough Fruit and you want to get from island to island. Next up we got the Kitsune Fruit, which I don't think a lot of you guys have, but the transformed ability actually lets you walk on water. This is a pretty good passive ability for the transformation, and that's the reason a lot of you guys don't know about this. Next up, I'm going to be telling you about a really overpowered place that you can actually server hop to get a butt ton of belly and bounty. And I'm obviously talking about the prison. This is the literal only place in the whole game that has 3 bosses in the exact same location, which is really crazy. And since it's the first scene, they're literally glued to each other. I'm pretty sure they're like 10 meters apart from each other. All you have to do is simply head over here, accept the quest for these guys, and just farm them, I guess. And then you can actually server hop and do this multiple times. Next up, I'm going to be actually clearing a myth that a lot of you guys might believe to be true, and that is the fruit rolling myth. A lot of people think that it's actually easier to get better fruits when you roll them in the 3rd sea, but this is completely not the case. The game code does not have anything like this. You're going to actually have the exact same chance of getting a fruit. And I know this because there's been a button of times where I was in the 1st sea and I got some crazy fruits like the Light, Magma, and Shadow, and in the 3rd sea I've rolled like the Kilo Fruit, the Spin Fruit, and a bunch of other terrible ones. Anyways, moving on to the next trick. This is something about the Awakened Phoenix that a lot of you guys don't actually know. Did you know that the Awakened Phoenix actually has a passive ability? If you fly over enemies with the Awakened move, then you're actually going to notice that a bunch of your flames are actually going to be dripping under you. And this flame actually does a butt ton of passive damage. It's similar to one of the Smoke Fruits ability, the Smoke Bomber ability. And if you know how to use this correctly, you can actually end up multiplying your damage by a huge amount. Just make sure you're standing directly above an enemy when you're using this ability. Next up is another really useful trick I wish I knew when I started playing the game, and that is to save good fruits until you're done with the game. What do I mean by this? Well, a lot of you guys know there's some crazy fruits in the game like the Dragon Fruit, the Leopard Fruit, and the Dough Fruit. But these fruits aren't really that good for grinding. So if you get one early, just make sure you save it up in your inventory, use another fruit to grind like the magma, ice, or best of all, the Buddha fruit. And once you reach max level, then you can end up switching to a fruit that you want. And the reason for this is because those popular fan favorite fruits aren't actually going to help you finish the game faster. The fastest way to complete the game is by using the Buddha fruit or any other grinding fruit. So if you get a fruit, just make sure you save it. Next is a pretty weird glitch with the barrier fruit. If you use the stairs ability of this barrier fruit and you keep walking over it, then you actually go into your shop and switch to your fruit, the barrier stairs are completely gonna freeze, which is pretty interesting because then you can literally just camp in the sky, I guess. This next trick is for you newer players out here. A lot of you guys might not be knowing about this, and even if you're an experienced player, there's some pretty cool things about this that you might not know. And I'm obviously talking about Aura, aka Hockey. It's an ability that you can get from the ability teacher for 25 belly. That is a cheap price for how good this ability is. And basically what it lets you do is actually lets you hit NPCs and players that have an elemental fruit. And that's not the only thing it does. It also gives you damage multipliers. It also reduces the percentage of damage that you take in stage 0 and increases your damage for non-fruit attacks by 10%. Next up we got stage 1. So you need 4000 XP to reach the stage, and it buffs your non-fruit attacks by 21%. Then we got stage 2, and for this stage you need 12,000 XP. This decreases all the damage that you're meant to take by 10%, so you're only going to be taking 90% of the damage you actually receive. Next up we got stage 3, and for this it decreases the damage you're meant to take by 18%, which is pretty good, and you need 24,000 XP to get to this stage. Then we got stage 4, and for this one it covers your full arms, torso, head, and your upper legs. It reduces the damage you take by 25%, and you need 48,000 XP to get this. Next up we got stage 5, and this is full body hockey. You need 60,000 XP to get this, and it decreases the damage you take by a whopping 30%. You literally have an extra layer of armor. It's better than any accessory that you can get in the whole game. Next up I'm going to be telling you about an incredibly good fruit spawn location that you should definitely be looking out for. And I'm talking about the Marine Fortress location. And this specific spot that you want to come over to is right here where the fruit spawns, underneath the tree behind the stair. Fruits tend to spawn here a lot more often than other spawn locations, so what I recommend you do is set your spawn point on this island and just server hop for hours on end. And once you do that, you should be able to get any fruit that you want, / any fruit that spawns there. Next up, I'm going to be telling you about a pretty secret fruit that you did not know existed. And the reason it's so secret is because you literally can't obtain it. Only admins or people that are friends with the admins that can get this. And this is the meme fruit. And it literally just looks like a traffic cone. The only thing it does is let you place down traffic cones, and this basically just does damage to players you're allied with. And that's why it's called the meme fruit. It's just a great way to annoy people. It literally has infinite damage, so it literally insta-kills any teammate that walks into it. Next up, I'm going to be telling you something about the Forgotten Island, which is located at the second sea. And a lot of you might not know this, but this is actually Kaido's lair from One Piece. And this is where the final battle between Luffy and Kaido happened. It was actually on the top of this island. And the real boss of this island was actually not meant to be the Tidekeeper. I think it was actually meant to be Kaido. But I do have a theory that once the Dragon Fruit gets reworked, they're actually going to switch out the Tidekeeper for Kaido, who has the Dragon Fruit, because we don't yet have a dragon boss in the game. Next up, I'm going to be telling you about a secret accessory that you can't really get anymore, and this is the DS Code accessory. It increases your energy by 200 and your health by 200, and it also gives you a 5% damage increase for all your attacks. And it also has an incredibly secret custom ability that is completely broken, and that's the reason only admins can use this. Next up, I'm going to be telling you about this dash hit method that's going to guarantee that you don't take any damage from NPCs that you're fighting. Keep in mind, this will not work on players because, well, you'll see. The dash hit method is pretty self-explanatory. You literally just hit your enemy and dash away before they can do any damage to you. It does take some time to master, but if you do it correctly, then you should be able to fight enemies without taking a single hit of damage. And obviously this doesn't work on all the NPCs because how some of their abilities work, but it should work on most of them. Next up, I'm going to be telling you a way to complete raid bosses, raids, and literally anything that requires other people a lot faster. And that is to use Discord. All you have to do is join the official Blox Fruits Discord or my server and literally just ask for anybody to help you. And usually people in the servers are pretty nice, so they're going to be helping you. And it's also of mutual interest. Say you want to awaken your ice fruit, but you don't have anyone to do it with. You can literally just go to the Blox Fruit server and search for someone that also needs to awaken their ice fruit. That way you can do it much easier. Next up is a really important trick that you must know, and that is trading. What I mean by this is you need to know the values of each fruit. And for this, I recommend searching up a tier list that any pro player has made. And if you want me to do a tier list, make sure you comment below. Basically, knowing the value of each fruit is going to let you know exactly what you need to trade for. This makes it so you can't get scammed at all. And just to show you how OP trading is, you can literally get stuff like game passes, stuff that you need to pay Robux for, you can get for completely free if you know what you're doing. Next up, I'm going to be telling you about observation hockey. A lot of you know about this and how to get it, but did you know that you can actually get it a lot earlier than you're supposed to? All you need to be is level 300. You don't actually need to wait till you get the upper sky because you're literally going to be like level 600 by that point. It's such a huge waste of time. Once you get to level 300, all you have to do is complete the annoying jungle quest, defeat the saber expert, and get the saber sword. Once you do this, you can actually prove to the observation hockey master that you're actually worthy to learn it. And then all you have to do is head over to him and equip the ability. And that's it.